I call to order the regular meeting of the Mount Pleasant City Commission, March 13th, 2021 at 7 p.m. Please rise for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Mount Pleasant City Commission recognizes the Anishinaabe whose ancestral lands the city stands upon today. We acknowledge the Saginaw Chippewa Indian tribe and recognize the three bands of Ojibwe, Saginaw, Black River, and Swan Creek have resided on this land for over 200 years. Our acknowledgement of the full history of the tribe and our commitment to be good stewards of the ancestral lands are an expression of gratitude and appreciation to those ancestors who came before us. We give thanks to the generous care with which the Anishinaabe and those members of the Saginaw Chippewa Indian Tribe of Michigan have given and continue to give to this land and our community. Clerk, please take the roll.
Commissioner Asman is absent. Commissioner Bush?
Here.
Commissioner Chapman?
Here.
Commissioner Eke? Here. Commissioner Wingard?
Here.
Vice Mayor Alsager?
Here.
Mayor Perschbacher?
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, we have a quorum, so we will move on. We're going to move on to proclamations and presentations. Tonight we have the introduction of our new records office professional and a new police officer.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Commissioners. David, if you'd come here with me. It's my pleasure to introduce Dave Kaufman, our newest officer who joined the police department today. David, a graduate of Ferris State University's criminal justice program, previously served as a park ranger for the police department back in 1999 and 2000. He then went on to work as a police officer for the Saginaw Chippewa Indian Tribal Police before joining the Central Michigan University Police Department. David spent 11 years at CMU PD, 10 of those years serving in a supervisor capacity. We at the Division of Public Safety look forward to working with you, David. If you could turn and raise your right hand, face me, please. Repeat after me. I, David, do solemnly swear
I, David, do solemnly swear
that I will support, defend, and uphold
that I will support, defend, and uphold
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the laws of the state of Michigan,
the laws of the state of Michigan,
and the ordinances of the city of Mount Pleasant,
and the ordinances of the city of Mount Pleasant,
to the best of my
to
abilities.
the best of my abilities.
Congratulations, David. Welcome aboard. You are a certified police officer with Mount Pleasant.
Thank you, sir.
You're more than welcome to say a few words. I know you have your beautiful family here if you want to introduce them.
My wonderful family, my wife of 23 years, and I have a 16, 18, and 21-year-old daughter who I'm very thankful for. Another daughter at college that's away that wasn't able to make it tonight. Very thankful. The city of Mount Pleasant has long been a premier agency in central Michigan. It is truly an honor to get this opportunity to work here, to join these wonderful men and women that work here. So I'm just so thrilled for this wonderful opportunity that the director has given me and look forward to many years of working together. Thank you.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Next, it's my pleasure to introduce Terry House, who recently joined the Division of Public Safety as an office professional in our records department. A lifelong resident of Isabella County, Terry has years of experience in the criminal justice field. Previous positions include service as deputy clerk for the Isabella County Court Criminal Division and as a behavioral interventionist at Mary McGuire Elementary School. Terry, welcome to the Division of Public Safety. We couldn't be happier that you joined our team. Would you like to say any words? It's all written down, I just read it.
Well, thank you. I'm really excited to be part of the Mount Pleasant team. I've been a lifelong resident of Mount Pleasant, and I look forward to this. Thank you.
All right, we will move on to the additions and deletions to the agenda. Does anybody have any additions or deletions?
Yeah, I'd like to make an addition.
Okay,
I'd like to add the Care Store, they're requesting to be recognized as a nonprofit organization operating in the community for the purposes of obtaining a charitable gaming license through the city.
all right. We will add that. We will not number it 20 on the agenda, under new business. With the addition to the agenda, is there any deletions to the agenda at this time? Okay, I will entertain a motion to accept the agenda with the addition.
I move.
Second.
All right, we have a move and a second to accept the agenda with the addition. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All those opposed, no. Motion carries. At this time, we will entertain public input on agenda items. If you wish to speak about an agenda item that we have listed for tonight, please step to the podium. You'll be asked to state your name and address, and you'll be given 5 minutes. If you're joining us by Zoom, you may use the star feature on your phone if you're joining Zoom by phone, or the raised hand feature. You'll be asked to give your name and address, and you'll be given 5 minutes. Is there anyone on Zoom that wishes to speak at this time?
No raised hands.
Are there any emails?
No, there are not.
Okay, is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak at this time? No? Okay, at this time, we will close the public comment, and we will move on to the receipt of petitions and communications. Manager DeSense?
Receipt of petitions and communications includes the monthly report on police-related citizen complaints received, minutes of the Parks and Recreation Commission from January, minutes of the Planning Commission from February, 2022 annual report, and 2022 Planning Commission annual report.
All right, we have the consent items are next. Are there any consent items that need to be removed and placed on the agenda? Okay, Manager DeSense?
Consent items this evening includes approval of the minutes from the regular meeting held February 27, 2023, approval of the minutes from the special meeting held March 6, 2023, consider approval of budget allocation for police vehicles, which is an increase of $9,970. Consider resolution to purchase, acquire, and construct improvements to the water recovery resource recovery system, and to publish notice of intent to issue revenue bonds. Consider approval of contract for reimbursement with Isabella County Road Commission for the Pickard-Bradley traffic signal for $84,100. Consider approval of a contract with G.A. Hunt Excavating LLC for the 2023 Storm Sewer Extension Project for $164,102. Consider approval of a contract with Plan It Geo Inc. for tree inventory services for $29,645. Consider approval of the purchase of Activov Asset Management Software and budget amendment on the same, contract for $38,000 and a budget amendment of $15,000. Receive city requests for Saginaw Chippewa Indian Tribe 2% allocations, and consider approval of payrolls and warrants.
I will entertain a motion to accept the consent calendar as presented.
I'll move.
Second.
All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All those opposed, no. Motion carries. We do not have any public hearings tonight, so we will move on to new business. Consider the waiver to audit requirement for the Mid-Michigan Aquatic Recreation Authority.
So I will go ahead and introduce some folks here, but just to start us off, the Mid-Michigan Aquatic Recreation Authority was created by Union Township, Mount Pleasant Public Schools, and the city for the purpose of moving forward with a proposal for an aquatic recreation center. The state of Michigan allows for these groups to have a financial audit every 2 years, while the Articles of Incorporation require an annual audit. The Recreation Authority is requesting that the 3 creating entities waive the annual audit requirement and allow the authority to conduct the audit next year while providing a copy of the 2022 financial report to each entity. In your city commission packet, you'll find a report from the authority discussing the issue as well as the year-end statements. And with that, I do want to hand it over to the representatives from the Aquatic Authority.
Thank you, Aaron. I think that pretty much summarizes one of the things we're looking for you from tonight, but I also wanted to update you a little bit. Thank you, commissioners, for allowing me some time to tell you about our progress. The Mid-Michigan Aquatic Authority was created by the 3 entities, the school board, the city of Mount Pleasant, and Union Township. And the original goal was to have a proposal on the spring ballot this spring, but that, because of the Public Act 321, won't happen until spring of next year, either February or March. The ballot initiative needs to be in conjunction with the statewide ballot. So it'll be in March of next year. Our goal is to bring a millage vote to the public to support the aquatic center. It would be a 1 mill vote, and for a home value of $150,000, that's about $75,000 a year. We've been working on this for some time, even before we started. The Friends Swimming group helped us get to where we are, and we've been working on it quite a bit. You'll have some information in front of you tonight that'll describe where the property is, and as you can see, that's right near the intersection of Isabella and Preston, and also give you a basic floor plan of this aquatic center. It is an aquatic center. There's 2 bodies of water, a large size pool, 25 yards by 116 feet, and a smaller, warmer body of water with zero depth for entry. And I guess if you have any questions about any of the information you have in front of you, go ahead and ask that.
Are there any questions? Commissioner Wingard?
Yeah, can you let me know why, so with the update about the ballot proposal was intended to originally be on board for this spring and that got delayed. Is that why like the annual audit, like it was intended to be taking place because the ballot was already, why was that put in there originally?
So the original articles were developed before we even knew anything about the timeline. So the original articles were developed by the city, the township, and the school district as a collective. And in that article, there was no timeline of how much revenue was going to be coming in. We're talking about a $30,000 budget right now. So the cost of doing the audit that you need at this level would just be more than even anywhere close to it. Now, if we'd passed the millage and we'd moved quicker, the potential was lots more money. And so then you definitely want to have the annual audit. So that's the timeline of it. The rec authority law, the articles that the city, the township, and school district developed were more conservative than the rec authority law. The rec authority law is every other year. That makes sense.
Yep, no, that part makes sense. So that was very thorough. Thank you. So we're just waiving it this one time.
One time.
Gotcha.
Yep.
And then the last bit was just all 3 entities have to agree in order to
Yeah,
waive
we're not
this
bringing
requirement,
we're
or-
not bringing an article change. It was recommended by actually we met with Aaron and Mark from the city and Jen Verliger from the school district, and they weren't recommending that we do an article change. So we keep the rules, but this year because the amount of revenue in this bucket was so small that we would just do an officially approved end year financials as record, but then moving forward we would go to an annual audit.
So last question was actually, so there's the 3 entities that contributed into this and helped create the rec authority. Do all 3 of us need to agree to waive the audit this year in order for
the audit to be waived, or how does that work?
Yes, because they're your article. I mean, we would have to come back and amend the articles, but we're not amending the articles. We're just asking for a waiver this year. The other two entities have both already approved that the year-end financials meet the criteria.
Perfect. Thank you. Appreciate it.
And you have a copy of the financials. It's not like there's anything secret. You have them all.
Oh, yeah.
Just that the expense to do an audit for that small amount of money would take up
About 16% of the budget is what I saw on there. Yeah, that was really ridiculous. Yeah,
Right,
so.
right, exactly. Do you have any questions about the initiative overall, where we're at, time frame, or?
Just, I'm thrilled that it's still moving forward.
Yeah, yes. Great.
All right, any other questions?
I actually do.
Yes.
When do you anticipate to actually break ground?
Say that one more time.
when you break ground.
Oh, break ground. Well, that's a good question. So the goal will be, if we pass the millage in a year from now, that it will take about 6 to 8 months before we would call like significant construction. Obviously, there'll be a groundbreaking ceremony, but the actual construction will take another 6 to 8 months before everything is, kind of moving forward. The opening date, that's probably the better, even better target. The opening date of the Aquatic Center, based on if we approve this next year, would be at latest spring of 2027. So it's quite a process to build the facility. It's a long time. Yeah. It's a major facility. We were just looking at we just had a meeting before this. We were looking at economic impact numbers. So bringing this facility here, both with job creation, the job creation was between $4 and $4.5 million in job creation. That is just on operational jobs. And then the economic impact by special events and programming and things like that through hotels and other spending in the community was, I want to say in year 2, it was about a little more than 2 million. And in year 3, it was knocking on 3 million. So that is just in bringing in more people into the community to use the facility for different events. I think we're very fortunate in where we're located, right in the middle of the state, and there is no aquatic center anywhere in this vicinity and region that would be able to host activities like this aquatic center will. So it's an opportunity to bring people from our surrounding communities and areas through activities and events and things like that. So just give you a little idea, bigger than just the health and wellness of a recreation of the aquatic center. There's economic impact as well.
And I'm going to assume that membership in terms of usage would be by membership, or is that, pay as you come?
Yes, membership is obviously one of the ways into the revenue, into the operational revenue. Those that are located in the authority district, which right now is the school district boundary, so those that would be paying a part of the millage, they would have a reduced fee. Those outside would pay a little higher fee. And all of the fee-based programs have been built off of a study of area, other programs and authority and aquatic centers, and what is a fair rate to be charging for them.
Okay, cool. All right.
Any other questions?
Is the school going to get a swim team?
Well, the school already has a girls' swim
It does, okay.
Yes, it does.
So the hope is, though,
I grew up without one, so that
yeah,
was.
the hope is that they would have a boys' team, and probably more importantly, that age group aquatics would really come back. When the Rose Pool closed and Pacers ended, the Pacers, which is the age group swimming program, had some of the highest numbers. They had the highest numbers they've ever had. Obviously, when the pool closed, that program ended. But we're seeing in other communities that have aquatic programs, their programs are growing tremendously, and believe that we will be able to see a drastic increase in youth swimming programs when we have a facility that can be used. The other thing that I think might be interesting to you all that we're working on and are going to continue to pursue is that we'd really like to, other communities we've studied, have a program where at least every third grader in the community has access to learn to swim programs. And And so this will not be part of, the millage dollars, but it is the number one priority on our fundraising campaign to raise the resources to have every third grader in this community have access to Learn to Swim, because that is a life-saving opportunity that we believe all kids need to have access to. So that is on our docket and agenda planning.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Follow up. May I?
Yeah.
So, apart from the millage, what other sources of funding have you considered? Have you considered perhaps 2% funding from the tribe? Is that a possibility?
Yes,
Other
for sure.
grants?
Yep. We actually have a grant going into the tribe this round to get some support in this pre-work that we have to do. But we will also be going back to the tribe and others for programmatic money. So the Learn to Swim program we just talked about, we're hoping that would be something that would definitely be wanting to be supported by local and community supporters. We are also looking at grant opportunities that will help not just support some programmatic things, but some additional facility costs that we know are going to arise just by interest rates and all those things changing. So we are looking and developing plans around those types of fundraising activities as well.
Are there local businesses that might be interested that you could approach? I mean, I'm looking at community buy-in, right?
100%. And I like how
And banks.
I really like how you're thinking. Yes, exactly. We actually have a committee now that is strictly focused on fundraising. That is their target, and looking at developing that donor base and what does that look like? And is it a programmatic donor base, meaning they want to support some programs? Because our real goal is that the aquatic center will be accessible to all. That is our number one goal. And so we want to make sure we build resources in place to support those that maybe do not have the resources, on their own, but we can support the resource or supplement that to help them have access. So those are on, businesses, individuals, foundations are all on in that committee's work to consider and to talk to.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
I'll come and ask you too, maybe.
All right, absolutely. Absolutely, please do.
Thank you very much for your time today.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. Thank you.
Are there any other questions or concerns or comments that the commission would like to make at this time? Seeing none, I will, yes.
You're ready to entertain a motion?
Yes, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we support their request to have a waiver of the audit for this year.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a support. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All those opposed, no. All right, motion carries. We're going to move on to 19, to consider approval of a proposal for the comprehensive analysis of fire services from the Center of Public Safety Management and budget amendment of the same. Manager DeSenza.
The staff is requesting that the City Commission consider authorizing to engage the Center for Public Safety Management to conduct a comprehensive review of the city's fire department and emergency medical services. The cost of the study is $49,760 and would require a budget amendment in the general fund. And to frame this up, the City of Mount Pleasant, our fire department is currently staffed for 10 full-time individuals as well as 16 paid on-call firefighters. The business of the fire department has changed dramatically over the past couple of decades. However, our business model, how we deliver those services, really has not. So for instance, you've seen over the past couple of decades where the calls coming into a fire department are a lot more medically related. And in fact, 70 to 80% of our call volume is medically related. At the same time, it's been a lot harder to recruit paid on-call firefighters given the current model that we have and some of the other issues that we're facing out there as well too, drop-off in volunteerism, those kind of things. The other concerns that we have in the future are the future cost replacements for significant machinery within the fire department, millions of dollars in trucks, in engines, and those kind of things, as well as making sure that we can keep up with the community risk profile, as well as the service that our residents are looking for. So addressing this is fairly difficult given what we have internally, the knowledge that we have internally, which is why we're proposing the engagement of the Center for Public Safety Management on this particular project. They've conducted these department analyses since 2014. They have done hundreds of fire departments, and actually right now as we speak, they're going through and doing the same analysis of the Midland Fire Department right now. So ultimately, this is something that I'm looking forward to moving forward with if the city commission is interested, because I just think it's due. It's a long time due for us to look at our fire department, look at different ways of doing things, and just for maybe a bit of a comparable here, our fire department does about $2.1 million in business every year. That's the amount of expenditures that come out of the fire department. $50,000 would represent about 2% of those costs. I feel very confident that a well-made study and the data that we could get back from a study like this, we could definitely make that up within a single year easily.
Are there any concerns or comments?
I think this is a good idea. We need to be up to date. We need to know what we have, where we have gaps, and and we need to be both fire, environmental, and health, ready. I think it is important for us to have efficiency. So if this will help us get there and be quote unquote modern, I'm for it. I will vote for it.
Yes.
Might be a bit of a vague question for speculation, but so it's looking to address our needs into the future. Could you talk about how far into the future, like, the study tends to look? I mean, this agency has done this a number of times before, or kind of like what idea we're looking to get.
Yeah, not that, I mean, part of it would be projections, though it's not. I couldn't really put an expiration on it or anything like that to say this is good for 10 years in the future or something like that. But it will certainly look at trends in the past and also look at trends, not just here in Mount Pleasant, but national trends as well, too. To put an end date on it, I unfortunately don't have one for you, though.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm also thinking beyond national trends, so, what is happening in terms of this area internationally, globally, because we're dealing with much more than just simply national issues, where we might make, establish linkages, connections. What can we learn from other areas, either, within the state, within the nation, and, by all means, internationally. I'm thinking about good practices that would make us really efficient. But also, I would like us to consider environmental issues, which is why I inserted that in there,
Any other concerns or questions? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move that we accept this proposal.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor to accept the proposal, and I'm assuming the budget amendment that goes with it?
Yes.
All those in favor say yes?
Yes.
All those opposed, no. All right, we are on number 20. This is for the,
Care store.
yeah, for the care store for the gambling, temporary gambling license for a nonprofit. On your space, you have the articles of incorporation for the care store and a letter that states what they are looking to do. Do we have anyone that wants to speak on this?
Yeah, either
Yes.
Julie Eigenberg.
Okay, come on up.
Thank you so much for adding us to the agenda today. The Care Store is a local nonprofit here in Mount Pleasant. We give out hygiene and household cleaning items to folks in need, and we fundraise to put those products on our shelves. What we did last year was a cash raffle where we were able to raise a little bit over $5,000 to put products right on the shelves. We applied again this year through the gaming license, and they needed more information, including approval from all of you to allow us to do that. So that's what we're doing here tonight.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions?
Yes, I do.
Yes?
Okay, I want to be clear that this is just simply a one-time thing for this year?
For this year, yes.
Yeah, so it's not, there is no continuity. We don't expect to have this continue for, beyond this year.
This will be our second annual.
But each
raffle.
time you do need to do this, you come to us.
That is my understanding. Last year, they didn't require it. This year, I believe we will do that each year, that we want to do this.
Yeah, I am seeking clarity because I want to make sure that we're not, you're not asking us to approve
An ongoing?
An ongoing, yes.
No, from my understanding, we have to request the license each year. And so we would do that.
Okay.
Are there any other questions? Well, I can say that the company that I own, the clinic that I own at Ronan Psychological, we definitely use the Care Store, and we send people, we refer people over to it all the time. It is a great resource in our community, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move to accept the request for approval for licensing, temporary license.
Yep. Second. All right. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All those opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you so much. All right, and clerk, I do have the paperwork here I'm assuming for you to sign. All right, now we are at announcements for city-related issues and new business. This is where the city commission can bring forward any information that they have in the community or questions or directions they'd like to give the staff, and the staff can also bring forward information at this time. Is anybody interested in saying anything?
Yep.
Okay.
CMU's powwow is coming up.
Yes.
Saturday, March 18th to Sunday, March 19th. Yeah, and it would be a wonderful opportunity to go experience a culture other than your own and to see what we have to offer.
Yes, and it will be at the McGurk Arena.
McGurk, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
The building I work at houses the Care Store, and the Care Store will be doing a raffle April 1st.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
Do they have the right license?
I believe so.
Wait, you work at the Care Store?
No, I do not. I work in
Okay.
the same building.
Okay.
Commissioner Bush.
Great.
Mount Pleasant High School will be hosting their annual musical this weekend. The musical is Mamma Mia. I believe the show is Thursday, Friday, Saturday to Sunday matinee, but you're going to have to check on that because I don't have kids in school anymore.
Yep. All right, and that will be a great performance as always.
Is that this weekend?
Last comment for me.
Go for it.
This is Women's History Month.
Yes.
Okay, just reminding everybody that women hold up half of the sky. So, Director Loria. So, just, remember all the women in your life, please. Yes, this is, often women, they're not, the things they do, people don't remember. Okay, I am just simply being serious about this. This is Women's History Month, and it is just the one opportunity that we have to recognize the contributions of women in our society. It's the International Month for recognizing, or at least American Women's History Month. So.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Director Loria.
St. Patrick's Day, Friday, all day until
Wee hours of the
probably
morning.
our close. We do have extra patrols on. We ask people to keep it safe, be patient in the bars. with lines and whatnot. And if you need us, feel free to give Central Dispatch a call.
Okay,
But we want everybody to be safe.
yes,
Thank you.
yes.
I just wanted to comment, I know as a downtown resident, I know there's been a lot of complaints recently about parking. There was a recent bout of tickets that went out, and there's been a lot of communication going on about that, about what could have been done better, if there was any issues. I myself received a ticket after Aaron had given me a warning and everything over that stuff was going on. But primary thing is like working with snow removal, making sure we're able to keep the lots clear. There's a lot of different residents and it gets very crowded in there, but I appreciate the work that the city staff has been doing in response to that. I know I talked with one of my neighbors who received 4 tickets, and he worked with Michelle Sponsler, who he was very appreciative of everything that the city staff was able to do in that, and just in working with him and communicating on that. I had a conversation with Aaron just about like addressing, I know there's evidently a couple lots where there were some mislabeled issues and it's being addressed. And if you have an issue, make sure that you follow the appeals process that's out there so that we can get that taken care of. But yeah, so I just want to, there's issues that come up, but I think we're working through them. So thank you.
Yes. Commissioner Eke.
The International Relations Commission, we are going to be hosting a visit by a select number of our high school students to Japan, because we have a sister city relationship with what is it? Okaya. Sorry, I'm jet lagged, as I said to you. Okaya. So more information will be coming out. It's going to be a small number of students, primarily because because of COVID, this has not been taking place. And since this is the first visit after COVID, the number of students will be limited to about 5 students. This is just FYI. The additional information will be coming out. We hope if you have high school students who might be interested, please encourage them to look out. That information will be sent to the local high schools to encourage students to apply. The visit will be about the end of July to early August. So just look out for more information.
Thank you. Any other comments? All right. At this time, we will open up the floor to public comment on agenda and non-agenda items. If you would wish to come forward to the podium, state your name, your address, and you will be given 5 minutes to discuss anything that you want, whether it's agenda or non-agenda. If you're joining us by Zoom, you may use the raised hand feature or *9. If you're joining Zoom by phone, once you enter into the meeting, you'll be asked your name and address, and you'll be given 5 minutes. Is there anybody out in the audience that wishes to come forward? Is there anybody on Zoom?
There are no raised hands.
Do we have any emails?
No, we do not.
Okay. Not seeing anybody coming forward, I am going to close the public comment. And at this time, we are through our agenda. We do not have a work session or a closed session tonight, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move for adjournment.
Is there a second?
Seconded.
Okay. All those in favor say yes.
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 All those opposed, no.
Yes.
We are adjourned.